Peace and love, black families. The Prince of Pan-Africanism, Dr. Umar Johnson, coming to you live and direct from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. I'm getting ready for tonight's sold-out power lecture at the Thurgood Marshall Center, where the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey once spoke as well. Today, I want to briefly deal with a situation that obviously is important to a lot of brothers who are dating outside of their race. And so I want to deal with this. Okay, I want to deal with this because it needs to be dealt with. Interracial dating. I've been getting emails, phone calls, Facebook, tweet, inboxes asking me, brothers asking me to clarify my position on it. All right, I think we back now, brothers and sisters. So here we go. I want to deal with this whole interracial marriage, interracial dating, this whole situation, that we be dealing with as a people. I've gotten a lot of emails and texts and phone calls from brothers who want to have me clarify my position on this. Okay, so first of all, let me say that I do not hate nor condemn any human being walking on the face of this earth. I do not hate nor condemn black men for dating outside of your race. I do not hate you, brothers. I disagree with the decisions that you have made in creating your family, because politically those decisions are not in the best interests of African people. When the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey was amongst us, you cannot join the greatest of associations if you were married to an alien. A lot of people have since given in to the pressure of condoning interracial dating because it is so prevalent. It doesn't matter to me how many people do the wrong thing. I will never condone the wrong thing. So I want to make sure that we are clear about that. Okay, that it'll never get condoned by Dr. Umar Johnson. Okay, I have to hold the line. That's what we do as Garveyites. We hold the line. You understand? So let's talk about 5 reasons why I do not support interracial dating. Okay. Number 1, marriage is a financial institution. Marriage is a financial institution. Let me say that one more time. Marriage is a financial institution. Yes, it is other things also, but it is fundamentally and primarily a financial institution. If you do not believe me, then all you have to do is talk to a lot of unmarried black women and discuss why many of them are not married. It doesn't mean I agree with their reasons for not being married, but clearly finding a partner who is financially equally yoked with you is a very pressing issue for a lot of sisters, as well as well-to-do brothers as well. Also, you can go into any divorce court in America, across the world. When people go through divorce, they are not talking about love, they are not talking about commitment, they are not talking about the great memories that they have shared. They're talking about how they're going to distribute the wealth, the capital, and the assets of that marriage business contract. Do you understand? So it's fundamentally financial. My problem is women will live longer than men. On average, women will live longer than men. Most of us will be exceeded in years by our wives. When you die, if you're married to a Arab, East Indian, Anglo-Saxon, Chinese, Latino, and when I say Latino, I'm talking about non-African Latinos. I'm not talking about my Afro-Latino brothers and sisters. Shout out to my Afro-Ricans, my Afro-Cubans, and all my Latino Africans who identify with the race. I'm not talking about them. But black men, when you die, your wealth and your assets will go to that woman. And in going to that woman, your wealth and your assets go to that woman's community. Why? Because that white woman is not going to shop black. That white woman is not going to buy black with your black dollar. You leave her $1 million life insurance policy. You leave her $3 million in business assets. Do you think she's going to recycle that money through the black community? Do you think she's going to take your money after you die and go buy black with her ex-husband's, her deceased husband's black dollar? Hell no. She's going to take your money and she's going to spend it at white stores, white shops, white malls. Okay, she's going to invest in white business franchises with the black man's money. So let me ask you a question. If you are in a war, let's say you are in a war, armed combat with the opposition, and one of your soldiers took all of his money over to the other side and gave it to the competing army to strengthen their military position, what would you call that, brother? What would you call that soldier who takes all of his money over to the other side? He gives his money to the enemy so that the enemy can strengthen his position against you. What do you call him? You know what you call him? You call him traitor. That's what you call him. He would be guilty of sedition. He would be guilty of treason. Is there any other definition you can use to describe a soldier who takes all of his assets and gives it to the enemy so the enemy can strengthen his position against his own army? You call him a traitor. So from a financial standpoint, my brother, you have to recognize that what you are doing is you are investing in the power and maintenance of white supremacy by dating or being married to a white woman. Let me say it again. Let me say this again. You are investing in the strength, power, and extension of the European empire. That's what you're doing. Yes. So that's the first reason. It is financial betrayal to marry or date outside of your race. Okay, that's number one. Number two, it is psychologically damaging to black female children. It is psychologically damaging to our little girls to see a black man hugged up with, loved up with, committed to a woman outside of his race when her mother cannot even find a suitable partner. And then a lot of you black men who date outside of your race, you don't even speak to black women when you see them when you're with your non-African queen. Okay? You don't even speak to black women when you are with your white woman. You go out of your way to ignore sisters, many of you do. Part of you do this out of guilt. Part of you do this out of shame. And some of you do this because you want to reassure your white woman that she's more important than any black woman. Okay? Okay? How can you fight white supremacy sleeping with its daughters? How can you fight white supremacy sleeping with its daughters? It is a deeply embarrassing thing for little black girls to have to pass grown black men committed to non-African women. It engenders in our daughters a self-hate, an insecurity, a self-insufficiency. It generates low self-esteem. In fact, let me go a step further. Let me go a step further. A black girl seeing a black man love up on a non-African woman has a more detrimental effect on the black girl's psyche than a white Barbie doll. Let me say it again. A black girl seeing a black man love up on a non-African woman is more detrimental to the psyche of black girls and black teens and black adolescent female children than a white Barbie doll. Because with the white Barbie doll, she don't see a black man loving up on a white Barbie doll. But when she sees a black man loving up on a white woman, that Barbie doll has now been validated by the men of her own race. It's as if you took the Barbie doll out of Walmart, you took it out of Target, you took it out of Kitty City, you took it out of a Qinghai Wok, the Chinese knockoff shop, and you brought it to life and you fell in love with it. Now, how are our daughters supposed to stop loving up on Barbie dolls? How are we supposed to get black girls to stop playing with Barbie dolls when her father is in love with a living Barbie doll? How do we change that? How do we change that? And don't tell me that black women are gold diggers. Don't tell me that. Tiger Woods' ex-wife is a multi-millionaire. When he found her, she was a nanny. Now she's one of the richest women in the United States. Don't tell me black women are gold diggers. Don't tell me black women are gold diggers. All these white women divorcing these black men. Okay? Don't tell me black women are gold diggers. Listen to me. No black woman will ever get more money than a white woman in divorce court. Can I say this again? Let me say this again. Let me say this again for you Negroes. No black woman will ever get more money than a white woman in divorce court. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let me open up my juice for a minute. Okay. All right. So we gonna deal with this today. You know, and don't get me wrong. Most of the brothers who have sent me questions about interracial marriage and dating have come at me in a very respectable way. I want to be sure we clear. Most brothers who have sent me questions have been respectful. Some of them have been non-respectful. Some of them have been non-respectful, but that's all right. Self-hate is a part of being an African in the 21st century, okay? So number one, it is financial betrayal. Number two, it is psychologically damaging to black women. Number three, it neutralizes your participation in Pan-African revolutionary struggle at the highest level. Let me repeat that. It neutralizes your participation in the Pan-African revolutionary struggle at the highest level. There is no way in hell, there is no way in hell you're going to tell me that you can be 100% committed to the Pan-African revolutionary struggle, and after you fight white supremacy, you go home and love up on one of its daughters. That is the greatest contradiction I can think of. I love black people, but I'm in love with white people. Explain that to me. I love black people, but I'm in love with white people. You got a white mother-in-law, white father-in-law, white cousins-in-law. You got to spend time around them. You got to act like you like these white people for the sake of your marriage. See, what I don't understand, we are subjected to white supremacy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When you walk out of your house, you are inundated with white power, economic, political, militaristic, media, institutional, legal white supremacy, and so forth and so on. I'm trying to understand, how do you keep peace of mind when you come home and your house is also controlled by white supremacy? Because one thing you need to understand about power, one thing a lot of black men dating white women, Arabs, Chinese, Mediterranean, Southern European, okay? Because none of you are exempt. I'm talking about all of you. I'm not just talking about the brothers with the white woman. If your wife does not have an African parent, she is not African. I want to be clear. If she does not have an African parent, she is not African. Now, for my biracial sisters, you're African until you prove otherwise. You got an African father, white mother, African mother, white father. It's not your fault for how you got here. You're African. But just because you have a white father or white mother does not give you the right to go out and perpetuate the dysfunctional relationship patterns of your parents. You are African like the rest of us, but you must identify and uphold the banner of unapologetically African womanhood. Just as we expect all black men to uphold the banner of unapologetically African manhood. So if a brother has a wife who's biracial, which is a term I don't even like to use because it was non-existent until about 2 decades ago with the rise of Mariah Carey, Barack Obama, Halle Berry, and all these self-hating Africans. Okay? Ain't no such thing as biracial. It's nonsense. When 23 European chromosomes mixes with 23 African chromosomes, that ain't no half black child. We are dominant. The African DNA is dominant. So you're African. So if your queen is biracial and she identifies, because if she's biracial and she don't identify, then as far as I'm concerned, you married a white woman. Let me say that again. You have a biracial wife who does not at all identify as being African, then you just married a cracker. Let me be clear. Because for me, it is not just anthropological and biological connection to African DNA that makes you African. It is psychological commitment to that DNA that makes you African. You must be psychologically committed to African people. Not just biologically associated with African people. There must be a psychological commitment. Do you understand?